Wow. What's up, QT fam? It is the Queens, and we are back with another Takeover Tuesday on the Queens Takeover Podcast. We are your hosts, Nick, CP, and Miss Casey. Miss Carla Chapman is back. Boo boo. We are back. And
Yes.
per usual, when you guys come in, say something so we can say something back. And if not, we are just so happy that you all are joining us today for this Queen's Takeover. We do have some comments that are starting to roll in. Hello, hello, hello. And while we are waiting on everyone to chime in, Queens, how y'all doing?
We in
I'm
this
doing
feast.
good.
We in this thing.
I'm ready.
Doing
Look,
good.
I got my tea ready and my new Mother's Day cup.
Come on, Mother's Day Cup.
Okay.
Hold
She
up.
what?
Wait a minute. My
She
cousin's
what?
in the
Let's
building, he
read.
said.
Shall we?
You know?
She
that's
leaves a little sparkle. I have one of those. I have one of those. Mm-hmm.
She on deck.
Mm-hmm.
She on
Mm-hmm.
deck.
Tonight
She
it is
on deck.
coffee in my mug. I wish it was an Irish coffee right now. It's good one. Anywho, so we have a tradition here. I'm sorry, go ahead, see what you say.
I didn't say it is. I just say it is.
We have a tradition here. We love to start the show off with talking about anything that we may have been, I hear an echo, that we may have been struggling with anytime this week and how we are overcoming it. So if you all would like to drop that down in the chat, drop them. I'm looking for them right now. Hey, Brandon. And let's start with our guest host. First of all, Carla, tell the people who you be, boo, and then tell us, have you struggled with anything on this week?
Oh my God, it's only Tuesday, right?
Yep.
It is. It's only day 2, and I feel like it's already Thursday or Friday. I am still struggling with some health issues, just being sick, but also getting ready for my son's graduation. He graduates.
Nephew.
He graduates next week, and when I tell you, I have been holding in my tears for like 2 whole months. It's starting to take over me, so I'm struggling with that right now. Just seeing my baby go, I really am.
So what are some things that you're doing to cope with it, boo?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
Of course.
I knew it. I've been doing a lot of self-care, so resting when I need to, but also talking to him, like making sure that we have conversations more so like friends versus me being mom. So we laugh together. I've been spending time with him, asking him, hey, you want to watch a movie with me? So that's kind of my way of doing it before he goes off for the summer. So, yeah.
Amen. Isn't she beautiful, y'all? We appreciate you being on with us.
Isn't she lovely?
Don't start, see. Don't start.
Isn't she lovely? Come on, see. Isn't she
Hey,
wonderful?
hey.
Alrighty. She is also the cousin in love to Miss CP.
Yes. My cousin / friend. That's my cousin's sister friend.
Get it.
That part. All that good stuff. So graduation as a school counselor is like I cannot with you, William, tonight. It's like Black Friday at Target. Pray for me.
Really,
We're gonna put you on the altar tonight.
Right.
big time.
And thank you, Douglas. Douglas says, happy belated Mother's Day. We are coming in loud and clear. CP, what about you, baby? How you been?
I've been good. Struggle bus. I don't really have a struggle bus this week, to be honest.
Amen.
Surprisingly, I don't have a struggle.
That's it.
Like I just getting through. I'm just letting God grace me through this season. Amen. Because yeah, I don't really have one. But I did want to ask this since it was Mother's Day like 2 days ago. How was y'all's Mother's Day, mothers?
Y'all, it was. Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. Can I go? I was already ready.
Oh,
like, let's go.
Y'all,
my baby is babying.
It was one of my best Mother's Days that I've had in a long time. So for me, I'm making real fast. Mother's Day is always bittersweet for me because I don't really have that bond, that close relationship with my mom. So I kind of struggle at the beginning of the day, and then I have a good time with my kids, and then I go back to struggle. But on Sunday, I was just in the moment of everything. Like everything from the moment I woke up, I was really intentional about every single moment that I received. And it was just all love. I didn't even do much. I even got my toenails painted here at home, not by me. I ain't gonna tell y'all who painted my toenails, but I got them toenails painted, okay?
Let me find out I got a new brother. But okay, then on them toes. Okay, then on them toes. My Mother's Day was really, really good. I spent the first half of it. Y'all know Mother's Day was also my birthday, right? So I spent the first half of it at church, and it was amazing. And then I went out with some friends, and we had a delicious time eating and talking and all that good stuff. And then I came home, and this nap overtook my body. It's one of them alien invasion naps. I slept so hard, I didn't know what day it was when I woke up. It's one of those. But I will share with y'all. So my struggle for this week is, y'all know that song called Yesterday by Mary Mary? I had enough heartache. Yeah, you know, it's been some things. It's been some stuff. Y'all ever have very high highs, and then some things happen and it's like a low, and then you got them in middles? Y'all put that in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. It's because I'm always smiling and being loving and caring about other people. You know, I don't talk about those things, but them high highs be high, then you hit a low, and it be like, I had enough heartache. So anyway, I cried my last tear yesterday. How about that? So I will share. I
said, come on now. She cried her last tear
with y'all. Listen. I'm gonna share with y'all at the end what my new mantra is for my chapter 47. Okay. So don't let me forget that. We have Douglas said Mother's Day is every day. Nicole said, hello everyone, happy Mother's Day. Hello, Coley Cole, how are you? All righty, y'all. We have some amazing topics for you all today. We're gonna do it popcorn style. We just gonna get together with our coffee, tea, and whatever's in our glass, and we just gonna chat it up with y'all. We want y'all to hit us up in the chat per usual on your thoughts and your take on whatever we're about to bring up to y'all. So let's have this good family conversation. We're gonna start with you, CP. What's the first topic of the day, Mama?
Well, the title of the podcast today is "Hurt People, Hurt People." That is it. Let me tell you where it comes from. Is it Tiana Taylor? I'm saying her name right? Tiana Taylor. She had a post, and it basically she was saying how when she calls for help for people, just for the small things, and they don't come through.
Say it, Tiana! Sorry. Felt that thing in my spirit. I'm sorry.
It makes you not want to call nobody. It makes you want to keep to yourself, keep to people that's true to you, and that's that. And she's like, the part that got me at the end, that's why I got the hurt people part, is how she said it at the end. She goes, how did she say it? She said, I stick to myself. The way that she said it kind of hit me real hard. It's not like, oh, I stick to myself. No, it's I stick to myself in a more of a way of like protecting myself. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I don't want to know about your business. And then that just was like, ooh. And so it kind of stung me the wrong way. So I had multiple questions out of this one post, but the thing that just kind of umbrellaed me is hurt people. And another way of hurting people, if you are trying to say, I just mind I do me, that means you lack empathy or try to protect yourself from caring because you don't want to get hurt, especially when you call on people. And so this post alone, I had like multiple questions, but I was like, let me try to just stick with one, which is hurt people. And that makes us want to go into this cave or into this, to put up walls. And walls are sometimes, I'm going to say boundaries are sometimes helpful, but walls are not so helpful because it leaves you not open to possibilities of what other people can do for you or what God's trying to show you in your life, right? And so to prevent yourself from hurting others because you've been hurt that way, You really have to do a self-care check-in with yourself and say, okay, what's going on? And the question I had for this one is, how do you deal with this? And is it problematic? Is it unproblematic, or stating the truth of how you feel to your friends? Is it important to do that? Or just leave it alone and say, I don't want to be a problem. I don't even want to make it an issue. What do you pick? Because if you don't, two things could happen. That's a cute cup, by the way. But yeah, that's what I'm rambling. It's cute. I'm rambling, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. So,
I think your question is so much to unpack. I think we can just pick any part of it and just start chatting. I think one thing I want to take from it, and maybe this a spark off our conversation, is what happens when you do tell people what you want? You vocalize what your needs are. You're in a relationship or trying to be, and you're telling them what your needs are. And it seems like your needs are never going to be important or priority because it's going to always be them. How do y'all deal with that?
Well, I can speak for myself. So, look, two parts of this, right? So you said hurt people. So I know with me, especially in the past, I have always been very guarded. Sierra can speak to this at the beginning of our relationship. So I had that wall up versus having that gate up to let people in and out. I think it can be problematic because one, it ends up pushing that person away to where, they don't even want to, try anymore because I'm constantly, giving them the Heisman. But then there's other piece of it though, where it's problematic because then we're not supposed to be in isolation. That's one thing we're not supposed to do. I don't know the scriptures or anything like that, but I know for sure that God made us to be a community. So we are supposed to be reaching out and stuff like that. So I've seen the problems in my past. Even now, that's something that I'm working on. I don't know how vulnerable we want to get on here, but that's something
girl,
that
we keep it all, girl.
So that's something that I struggle with now, like being, kind of cautious of or mindful of how I show up now in my relationship because I have been so guarded and I'm so used to being guarded. And it's based on past relationships. Maybe I was at one time open and then that person didn't receive it the way that I needed them to. So then I started to feel everybody is like this. So slowly there was no trust. So it can be a problem on both sides to me. It definitely affects the relationships.
You know what, Carla? It's hard to love a guarded person.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard when you're the person trying to love someone that is so guarded because they only want to let you in so far, but it's when it's convenient for them to let you in, which means if they don't need you or if they're not in that place where they want to talk to you, they'll talk to other people, but they won't talk to you and they push you away. But then when they're ready for you again, they want you back. You're supposed to come with a smile. You're supposed to be happy. I want you right now, even though I've been pushing you away and I haven't talked to you. So, on the flip side of that would be it's hard to love a guarded person. And CP want to say something. Go ahead, boo.
Yes.
She like she about to jump through the screen. Come on, CP.
I'm so glad you went there, Nikki. I just love the heck out of you. Yeah, man. Woo! Nikki spoke a word, Jesus. She spoke a word. All I have to say, because Nikki, you went there. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because that is the truth. But at the same time, the other part of this is when you bring a problem or say someone did not show up for you and you're used to people not showing up for you.
Yeah. When
do you address the issue with the person? Doesn't matter if you've been friends for a month. Doesn't matter you've been friends for 10 years. Do you bring it up to that person, to that friend? And if they're your true friend, will they really see or hear what you're saying and take heed to it? to keep the relationship the best it can be, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because, I mean, do you tell your friend that they're not X, Y, and Z, or do you just like, you know what, I don't want to be a problem. I'm just let it be what it is. This is who they are. Leave them in that box and be cool with it.
But
Or
that's
do
the
you
conundrum. That's the conundrum. See,
right,
do you say something and do you intrude on what they may have going on in their lives? But then you don't say something and they like, well, what's going on? Like, why you some is different. But then but what if you have those experiences where you say something and it's not received? People get to
right,
the point where, well, how many times do I reach out and tell you what my needs are and they
right.
keep getting unmet and ignored? You understand what I'm saying? So we want to hear from y'all in the comments too. If you've been there, done that, if you have some suggestions or what are your thoughts on that? CP, what would you say to that? KC, what would you like?
I would say
Yeah.
absolutely you say something. That's what I would say. Look, C's eyes were like, oh Lord.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean it that way, but you are truly friends and you are truly working on an intentional, healthy relationship.
Yeah.
You say something. You're not
Mhm.
responsible for how that person reacts to it. If you
Mhm.
love them, as your friend, you are going to show up in love. How they receive it is really not your business, if that makes
Mhm.
sense, not in a harsh way. But you have to be open like that at the beginning of the relationship, because if you're not,
Mhm.
you're going to get to the end of the relationship and start saying stuff, and then that's where the issues start. So that's what I think. Yes.
Yeah. And then the flip side to that, CP, talk on this. You say something and you say something and you say something. And notice my voice keeps getting more and more quiet as I say it, because you get to the point where you do what? You stop talking. And then when this happens, it's like, but I tried to tell you because I got needs too. So I think in any relationship, business, mutual friendship, romance, whatever, if honesty, if I can't talk to you and be honest with you, this is what I need. I miss you. I'm lonely. I want time with you. Let's spend some time together. Hey, I miss you, homie. Whatever it is, if I can't tell you that and you hear it and you do something, just have an intention and you do something, that's how relationships start to break up and even friendships begin to break down. And you find people gravitating to those who they can get what they need. Because the thing in relationship is this, and I'm going to be quiet so y'all can talk. So much I could say, I can't type it all. Jesus, type what you can, Ashley. Ashley said I want to get up in this. We got to put on the screen. So much of so much of relationships is usually between two people, no matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's work or romance. Both of those relationships require something. One cannot always have requirements met while the other one does not. What begins to happen? It gets very top heavy. And it being top heavy becomes exhausting because it's like, I love, I do. There's nothing replenishing me. So those relationships don't tend to stand, right? So all of us in whatever relationship is, make sure you're doing your David and your Jonathan. It's got to be a David and a Jonathan. It just can't be David, because David gonna get tired one day, and one day David gonna be like, "What's up, Jonathan? Like, I can't get nothing." So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Go ahead, see, I'll let you go. Look, I spoke last. You better go, girl. You got it.
I was gonna say
Yes, we will. Go ahead.
um focus camera. 3 strikes, and then that's about it for me. If I told you 3 times and you lack to understand, then I will pull away. And if it's a business relationship, I will do less. Because I don't see that you appreciate me or my opinion or my thoughts or my presence. And then once you realize it, if you do, even if you care that I'm gone, and then you bring it to my attention, so what's up? Uh, you want me to pull the receipts out, or
Not the receipts.
you want me to go to receipts, or you don't want to receipts? or you know, like in a gentle way, like, you know. So I'm that friend that, you know, you tell me I did something wrong, I'm trying my best to
Mhm.
make it better. I'm that business partner that you tell me something's going wrong, okay, let me figure out how to do it better. Um, so I give what I hope to receive, and so that's why
Yes.
I'm like, you
Yes.
didn't tell me, okay, well then. And then once you realize and you come to me, you're like, you know what, it was my bad, and you recognize it,
Yeah.
then you try to act on it and be intentional. We good. We
Mhm.
good. Do you get 3 more tries?
Mm.
KC
Yeah, you
said,
get
"No,
3
wait
more
a minute.
tries.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you get
The
3 more
math
tries.
ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing. But you know,
Math
the
ain't
Bible says
mathing.
7 times
Y'all
what,
know
7
one of my all-time favorite things is be what you want. I'm always trying to be what I want in a relationship with somebody. I just want it back. You know, have an intention of wanting to do it back. I'm just saying
the intentionality. That's it.
that part. Carla,
Ma'am,
before you rock out that seat, go ahead, Carla. It's on you.
Yeah.
was I rocking you?
You
You
was.
was rocking.
You was. Like, ooh.
It was really because I was just feeling what y'all said, and I was thinking as Sierra was talking, I was like, you know what? There was a point in my life I did not feel that way.
Feel what way?
The way that you were just saying, like, look, you got 3 tries and you out. But I think with age, the more like the older I get, I'm just like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like that's really how I'm starting to feel like I don't have time. And I know it sounds harsh, but it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what
Right.
are we doing? Why are we wasting each other's time? Like, and it's not a bad thing. It's one of those things like you have the conversation. If you feel like you cannot show up for each other, then okay. That don't mean you bad. That doesn't mean I'm bad. We just can't do
That's
this.
it. You just might not want to show up for me. You might show
Yeah.
up for me, but it may not be me.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we be grown and just have that conversation?
Yes.
I think people are scared of conversation.
Big time.
I think people
Terrifying.
are,
Yes.
I think people are
Terrifying.
scared of truth. I think people are afraid to hear. One thing I love about my working relationship with you, because we have a friendship outside of this work. We were friends before the work. One thing I love about it is if we're talking about something we need to tighten up on with the podcast, we ain't finna be mad for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We talk
No.
about it and we get it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the 3 of us, when we went out to eat recently, we were all kind of talking about that. You know,
Yeah.
if we're friends, we're gonna be. I should be able to be like Carla.
Get it together.
Carla, you on that bull snap? You on that bull snap?
Which you
Come
kind of
on.
did, but that's the whole podcast.
We gonna hush. We gonna hush. Okay, somebody want to hit this one from Ashley, please.
I've experienced all of this loss of friendship and a relationship with a family member because I expressed my feelings. Doing so, I learned so much about myself in overdoing for those who wasn't intentional about showing up for me. Now I'm learning how to navigate our relationships
Mhm.
is differently.
Woo. She said a word, ladies. She said a word. She says she's learning to navigate relationships differently. What I love about what Miss Ashley just said is you have to. My
You have to.
relationship with you can't be the same sometimes as it might be with Carla. But then
Right.
again, you do have maybe 3 or 4 of y'all that's just exactly the same. Y'all can do that. But the next
Right.
person, it's got to be a little bit different. That's wisdom.
Yes.
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 Because what Sierra may need from Nikki may be different than what Carla needs. I may be able to talk to Carla real up front. I ain't got to sugarcoat nothing. But with C, I got to see, I love you, boo. But you got to do so and such and such. Carla, like, don't give me that. Just give me the raw and real. Just talk to me. So I love that.
That's very true what you just said.
I just thought about it. You will.
Yeah, it's very true.
But you know,
Cut me with love, baby. When you yeah. Like, just give it to me, you know.
hey, big brother, love you. Who this Harpo? He's so silly. This is Miss Carla. She actually has been on their POV with Nick and King before. She was on our Mother's Day special. She is back again. She's a resident queen. So Casey is back in the building. Any other thoughts on this? Because this right here is a whole episode.
This good. This could be a whole show, by the way.
That part. That's what I'm saying. That part. She got ideas. She got ideas. Write them down. Write them down. We'll talk about them later. Thank y'all for coming in. Those who are coming in, we want to say welcome to you. As you see, Coley Cole is not with us on today. What's up, Cole? She's watching. We do have Miss Casey, Miss Carla Chapman, sitting in with the Queens today. We've had amazing conversations so far and so many more things to talk about. So before we jump into the next topic, Queens, was there anything else that y'all wanted to say to round this off?
No, I'm good.
Hashtag show love. No, hashtag give love, accept love.
Ooh.
And keep
and hashtag be what you want. Hashtag be what you want.
That part.
Give those again, CP, so that somebody can put them down in the comments.
Hashtag give love, hashtag accept love, and hashtag show love.
That accept love, that hit different.
Did it?
You hear me? It make me check myself to make sure I'm accepting it too.
Yeah.
Because
that's something you're not ready to receive, right?
Say it again. Say it again, Carla. Say it now.
Something you ain't ready to receive. that might be a little of my testimony. I
won't confirm nor deny. All right, ladies, I have another topic for us. We're talking about relationships. So I ran across this, I think it was this morning or yesterday, and it was D Wade. He said, my love language is providing a safe place so she can come out of her survival mode.
That's sexy.
My love language, huh?
I said that's sexy. Yes, see.
It's sexy. You wanted to give an offering, didn't you? My love language is providing a safe space so she can come out of survival mode. I want to talk about survival mode love. Can we do that? I want to talk about survival mode love. Okay, we got some hashtags coming in. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Give love, show love, receive love. Survival mode love. So he says, his love language is to have his wife in a place that she no longer has to live in survival mode. So I first want to start off by talking about, have y'all ever, as women, especially when you were single, lived your life in survival mode? Yes or no? And y'all can answer that down in the chat too.
My entire life.
Yes. Same here.
Same here. Same here. We got very sexy. Ashley agrees with you, and she said, "Yes, please, yes." Let's talk about your survival mode. What does that look like for you, Casey?
Oh my gosh! I wasn't expecting you to call me first, but you know what? I might have to ask someone who has witnessed me because I'm so used to it. Sometimes I don't even know I'm in survival mode because that's just how I live. It's what I do. Look, I'm kind of lost for words because my whole life has been survival mode since I was a kid. Yeah. All I know is showing up for myself. All I know is being guarded. All I know is giving love and not receiving love fully. So yeah. I'm just now getting used to what it looks like to live without survival mode and just enjoy life. So yeah, that probably wasn't the right answer you was looking for, but
it was the perfect answer because it was your truth. My answer is the same as yours, except I'm still in survival mode. I'm still in it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still in it because, oh, Jesus.
Don't do this. I got my tissue right here, by the way, because I'm ready.
I'm okay. I'm okay with crying. When you paused earlier, I understood your pause. Because when I started thinking about, remember, I told you earlier, when you were asking me about what topic, I said, I'm just going to let the Holy Spirit lead. When you paused earlier, when you were talking, I knew what that pause meant. It's the realization, like, damn, I'm still in. I ain't okay. My whole life, yeah, and my whole life has been survival mode. Even yet, still, it is survival mode, right? And you'd have to be really, really, really close to me to know what I'm talking about. But I will say, if you paid attention to me, then you would know some of what I'm talking about. Do you know when I saw that post, it paused me in such a way that I said, the love from someone that says, I want to love her so she can stop
Yep.
surviving
Yes.
and start living.
Yes.
That is a love I have not experienced yet. But that's the same love that I try to give to everybody in my life.
Yeah.
If you are my friend, you can witness to that. I don't care if we just met. I am always trying to meet your needs so you don't have to just survive, right? I want you to live and relax and have peace and eat. And what is it that you need? If I have it, if I don't have all of it, I'll give you what I have. Do you know I'm still waiting for that? So when I read that post, I just kept looking at it and I was like, wow, somebody that wants to love you from just surviving to living and thriving. Now I know God, that's God and that's Jesus all day, every day. From a human on this earth, I haven't experienced it yet. And the thought of just the concept of it is like, wow.
I must say it is hard to receive it.
Say
And
that.
that's just my truth. It's hard to receive it once you do get it. Because like Nikki, it's like when you see posts like that, it's like, well, when is it my time? What does that even look like? So then when it happens in your life, you start to think like, this has to be too good to be true. Like, what's the catch? Or why are you here? So there's been a lot of questions with that. So Nikki, I'm saying like, okay, I'm receiving it. I'm starting to feel it now, but I am just like you when it comes to that. I'm still going through that same walk.
It's like learning. I'm sorry. See, go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like, it feels like it's going to be like learning how to breathe in a new way.
Yes.
Because this is how I breathe right now. And it's survival mode breathing. But when you can rest, knowing that you know somebody loves you and has you like that, that's a different type of breathing. That's a different type of rest. That's a different type of relaxing in your arms and relaxing in the thought and the trust that when you say you love me, I know you do. That's learning how to breathe in a different way. Go ahead, C.
I know this post came from a man talking about his wife, but can this type of love be relational, not just from a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend situation, but can it be just relational? Like when you sent the post to me, I was like, well, duh, that's my life. Like, meaning I always want to be that person for somebody. But I didn't think about it in reverse of like, oh, well, then do you feel like, have you been surviving, Jesus? Have you been, like, I had to scratch my head, like, was I trying to, has anybody made me feel like I don't gotta survive the relationship? Like, surviving my life? Yeah, that comes with a lot of, like windows, like a lot of like, you see me, like you see me.
I love that. Do you see me?
Because this is one thing to say. That was the next thing to ask both of you is like, it's one thing to say, okay, Carla learning to accept the love and not be in survival mode all the time. But then it's also like, how do you know, like from childhood, like this is what you know, like how to exist. But then how do you know when it's like, okay, this person really like loves me. They see me for me. And I can let them see the holes in me. Let them see the brokenness in me so that I can really feel safe and feel free
Right.
to be who I am.
Right.
Because in
Yeah.
freedom, you really discover who you truly are meant to be in purpose, not just who you're existing to be through surviving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you know, I don't have to survive with this person, I can just be.
I think when you realize you started breathing differently, I
Mm-hmm.
think you realize you start moving differently. I think you realize I'm at peace. You realize I'm actually being poured into. I'm not doing all the pouring. I think it's just, I think you just gonna know it. If you've never experienced it and you've always wanted it, you're gonna know it. But even if you never experienced it, man, you didn't even know that it existed, I think you're still gonna know it because it's gonna be so different. It'll be you. Oh, Holy Spirit, come
Yes,
through.
come on in there.
It'll be you operate on a different level of authenticity,
Yes.
a
Yes.
different level of authenticity. Because when you're living in survival mode, it's almost like you have army fatigue on all the time. You are always in performance mode, and you can never take because you get in trouble if you take off that fatigue.
Yes.
Yes.
But you can lay down certain weapons. You can lay down certain tools. You can lay down certain ways of doing things. You can lay down and freaking rest because
Yes.
now you're not the one that always got somebody. Somebody got you now.
Yes.
So you can I don't have to have these weapons and these things anymore. I can operate on a different level of authenticity. And I think that works even in your friendships.
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
You know, if I don't have to work so damn hard to be your friend, I can just be, and then you're being, and we're being together, and it's reciprocal. Then I'm operating in a different level of authenticity. Oh,
Yeah.
Holy Spirit! Wow.
Look,
Always,
this feel like service. Y'all know I'm about to say something,
I
right?
always
Come
say,
through.
go. You want to go? You want to go, Carly?
No, friend, go ahead.
Always. I think I told Carly this before. It's like, don't cry right now, Sierra. It's like you wear a armor, like think about like a knightman, and you have a full armor on, and it's like, when can you take the breastplate off? When can you take the shield off? Like when can you like
Take the
you said the
helmet off.
weapons? Like when can you take the
Yes.
Yes. Like I
Yes.
really want you to know what I think. Like not what I want you to see, but what I really, really think. How I really, really think.
Man.
Yes.
Man.
And I always that's how I picture when he said surviving mode, and I don't want her to come home, and I don't want her. That's what I think of, is like you just drop all the armor at the door and you just walk in like, okay, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
And you just free, or you have peace.
Yeah.
It's it's a process.
So
That
you
is
know
so
this
good.
this resonates with me when y'all start talking about army and fatigue. As an ex-military girl, I know that life. I know about carrying all that stuff. Look, I don't need to be crying on my first episode.
That's what we do. Go ahead.
But I want to come back as a guest.
You coming back? Stop that. You'll be back.
Just cry out.
But I was just sitting here thinking as you were talking, like my whole life has been in fatigue and carrying weapons. So then I got to live that real life when I was in the military. So 20 years, it was just me, you know, being uptight, making sure I was always on watch until I met a good friend. And that's like, it took until my 40s to meet someone who told me, put your shoulders down. Like, I didn't even realize that my shoulders were always up. Like, I didn't realize that. Just to like be transparent, there was a time last year I had surgery. It was my third surgery. So all my life, like I am the literal picture of what it looks like to carry pain and be in survival mode. Because of all the stuff that happened to me, I went through, you know, medical issues and surgeries and things like that. So last year, God gifted me with someone to come take care of me during that time. I could not walk. I was in my weakest moment. And that person, sorry, y'all.
Don't be sorry.
That was the first time in my life that I felt like I didn't have to show up. I didn't have to
For
show up.
everybody else.
I didn't have to show up strong.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I was at my weakest point.
Yeah.
And she held me still. Like she held me down. See, I'm gonna give you your props because it was you. So when you said, like, is it possible to have these things in friendships? Yeah. I have experienced that, which prepped me for relationship, intimacy with someone else. But that's a whole, like Nikki, you said you just breathe differently. Like I breathe differently around her. There's a few people in my life I get to breathe with. So to experience that for the first time, I'm almost 44, and I'm just learning how to breathe the right way. You know how when we breathe from our chest, but it really comes from the diaphragm. Like I'm learning, like there's an actual way to breathe, to live. And I'm like, wow, God, like y'all got me with that one. I'm done because I'll be on here.
Carla, so you said something when you said
come on, Spirit. Come on, God. Come on.
You said somebody told you to put your shoulders down because you didn't realize that you were always like this. I was talking to somebody today when I came back from running some errands. I had just started crying in his vehicle. I just started crying, and he just kept saying, "What's wrong?" And I couldn't verbalize all of the emotions and things that I've been feeling and going through, and just stuff I haven't talked to anybody about. And so when he brought me home, he asked me again, he said, "What is it?" And I told him, and as when you said somebody told me, put your shoulders down, I realized when I was talking to him in that moment, I put my shoulders down. I just released and I just cried. He said everything is going to be okay. But then I said, is it? And when? Because I was talking to y'all earlier about you got these highs, you got these lows, you got this life that just keep lifing and stuff that keep coming at you and financial stuff. It's just like, ooh. I told y'all at the end of the show, I was going to share with y'all the mantra God gave me for the new chapter of my life. And that is, none of these things move me. None of these things move me. And I've been saying that repeatedly ever since I had to teach that last Wednesday. Stuff has been coming to challenge my belief in that. But there are moments when my shoulders are still like this. They're still like this. It's still a fight. It's still survival mode. It's still, what are you coming for? Because you're not coming to love me. You're coming for something. So what is it? What do I need to give to you? Because you're coming for me to give. I need to coach you. Okay, great. I need to do this. Okay, great. My shoulders are just like this. And when you said they told you that your shoulders, put your shoulders down. Like, wow, put your shoulders down. What is life like when you can live with your shoulders down? What is life like when you can be out of survival mode finally? And I guess you have to have been in survival mode your life to know what we're talking about if you don't get it. But what is it like to live with your shoulders down and to breathe differently and to live in a different level of authenticity? What is that like? What is that like? And I'm excited to one day experience it. I'm excited to one day experience it. But you sure said something, sis, when you said that they told me to put my shoulders down. I think I'm going to keep telling myself that every day when I can feel it. None of these things move me, and put my shoulders down. Just put them down. I knew it was going to be one of them episodes, y'all. I got my robe on today and some coffee. I knew it was going to be one of them episodes. Go ahead, CP. Go ahead.
I thank y'all for y'all honesty and vulnerability, and I love you, Ashley Dodson. We'll see what you put in the chat. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I experienced that.
I can't be. If I can't breathe, we can't be friends. We need that on a shirt, Ashley.
Straight up. Straight up.
Let's go get a matching tattoo.
Straight up. Straight up.
These things move me. Listen, that teaching is on my page. If you scroll down to last Wednesday, whatever Wednesday's date was, today is the 16th. If you watch this in the replay, watch that teaching. It is life changing. None of these things move me. And the title of it is "What Has You Bound?" What has you bound? Go ahead, finish, CP.
Oh, that's all I had to say. I thank y'all for your honesty, and I love y'all. And yeah. That's it.
This is deep, y'all.
Fine.
CP calls it therapy Tuesday. That's what she always calls it. It's like,
but it's not intentional. Well, it is, but it's not. Holy Spirit did his thing. Amen.
whatever the Lord want to do. So when I run out of coffee, I got water. We're gonna keep talking. Okay.
Hey.
Whew.
Hey.
Well, is it my turn, ladies? Do I need to like smooth it out a little bit? Or smooth it out?
Whatever. Go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, because that got a little deep. So I'm gonna just ask one of my questions.
Okay, here we go.
So I was on Instagram. Y'all know I don't scroll a lot. I really don't. Like I post and I try to get off. But when I am scrolling, I try to make sure I save stuff. So I came across this post on IG, and it was a whole bunch of young folks at a club, and they were dancing. Like if I would have muted that thing, I would have thought they were in a regular club. But then, like listening to it, it was all Christian music. So my question is it possible to have a Christian club, and can you worship and praise and turn up for God at the same time? How y'all feel about that?
Define turn up.
No, turn up.
Define turn up. How we turning?
Look, I can't stand up. Like turn up is like this, but I'm telling you, if I would have muted it, I would have thought it was a regular club.
Are we twerking for the Lord?
I didn't see twerking, but I also didn't stare at. I should have looked at it a little bit more. It just looked like they were into it, like this. And to me, that's okay. But sometimes you do see a little jig going on. So how y'all feel about that?
I would say that is church at TC. Amen. At Transformation Church in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma. It's like a jig, and then it's worship. And it's like, hey, and then it's going to worship again. That I would love to. Every church is not like that. Every church does not have a variety of music to allow you to be free in the Lord. And not saying twerk, not saying pop in and drop it in, not toting them back. But can we have a Christian church? I mean, a Christian club? The question is, will people come? And will it be a concert type? Because concerts are like that, yeah. Like you go to Lecrae concert, if you go to Fred Hammond concert, it's like lit. But can you take that moment and put it in a club scene? I guess you would call it a lounge, not a club.
Look at what Brandon said.
Yeah, I knew it.
What we doing in the red cups, Brandon said. What y'all sipping on?
You know what? If it was
holy water, though, I'm not.
I think I would go. I think I would go because I love a good, I love Christian rap. I really do. But sometimes I'm listening to it and it's like, this ain't really Christian rap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's good for the young folks though. Like, however you got to reach people, I think it's good, but it'll probably have to come with some rules.
I'll be in that thing.
Turn up.
I'll be all up in that thing.
I love it. I like the idea.
I'll be all up in that thing. I love music, and I love all kinds of music. And if it's bumping, I'll be in that thing. And I mean, if they drop some worship music and everybody start to worship and do that. Now, did y'all see the video that's gone viral of the mother of the church or whatever she was, she had on like the matching hat with the skirt and the top and bottom, and they was playing this music, and she got down. I think she forgot where she was. She was showing the deacon or the pastor or whomever what her skills were in the bed.
What?
She was very skillful on the ground. And I was like, because it looked like it was outside revival. I ain't gonna lie. I'd have been like, if that was my mama, mama, I need you to get up. Like it was that. And I was like, she's in the wrong place. I think she forgot it was a church revival. So I don't know if they doing something like that. I'm gonna have to question what we doing. But I'm all up in that place. If I'm gonna do it. I would go. I would go.
Yeah, I love music, and I definitely love some Jesus music is what I call it.
Yeah.
So I'm up in there too. But I think there's a fine line. I just have to say that there definitely is a fine line, because sometimes I see some turning up, like Nikki say, going on, and I'm like, really? Are y'all listening to the words, or you just listening to the beat? Because I've done that with music, where it's like Lil Wayne is on. I don't care what he said, but the beat is just hitting. So I'm in that thing. So yeah, I saw that. I was like, this is interesting. I wonder if that's a trend that's about to happen.
I feel like it is, because I listen to a lot of, like, throughout the day, I listen to R&B, Christian hip hop, and Afrobeat Christian music. And then lo-fi has a whole plethora of music. I listen to that more than I listen to old school music, church music. So I mean, it's a bop all the way through, but it gets you through the day without having all the cursing, without all the explicit words, explicit, sayings, or whatever you want to call it, imagery, if you will. So I mean, it's doable. It's just, are we that free yet?
But y'all know, if we were in Africa or in Jamaica, the way they dance, and it's not sexual. That's culturally, but we would sexualize it over in this westernized country. So I really think it's one of those, because Carla was talking about it's a fine line. I think it's really one of those eye the beholder things. If it's a certain religious sect or denomination opening up, they ain't finna have some of certain things. They're not gonna do it. So I think it's where you walk in your freedom. When I was talking about the woman that went viral, y'all, she was doing stuff that only your man should see. She's doing something that your man should know that you do. And this was some type of outside revival thing. I was a bit confused. I should know that you do that. I should know your man should know that. But so I don't know, listen. But there have been some teen clubs. There have been some Christian teen clubs that have been open. I actually had one back in Bryan with a friend. We used to be able to use our annex to the church to have the kids come, excuse me, on certain days of the week. And on the weekend, it gave them a place to go. Right now, of course, there were chaperones everywhere, and you weren't gonna get like buck wild, but it gave the kids a place to go. So what do y'all think about something that children could go and partake in that's not of the world, but it's marked as Christian? What do y'all think about that?
I love that idea. I probably would be a little more lenient to my kids going than I am now. Like now I'm like, oh, absolutely not. Y'all are not going to a club. But if I knew it was a Christian club, there were chaperones there, like people watching them, I would, yes, definitely. And I think that gives them like great social skills. They get to be with like-minded kids and not on the streets like that. Not saying that my kids are different from any other kids, because kids gonna be kids still. Right. But the whole idea of having chaperones and the type of music that's being played, it's in alignment with how I feel. So
yeah.
I know. I was gonna say, I know at some churches they have that like teen night on Friday or Saturday night, so they keep kids off the streets. But I think you're thinking about not affiliated with a church. You're just a teen, the lounge, just for. Are you saying associated with a church or not associated with a church?
No. So we had it at it used to be called our church's annexes been gone from that years ago. But that's where we had our teens from the church come, right? Now, I'm not saying do something associated with a church only for the simple fact that when it's associated with a church, it's that church's rules. I'm
Right.
talking about, let's just say I go open up a building downtown and
Right.
it's for teens. You can't be a certain age in there. There will be
Right.
chaperones, and it is more leaning toward I don't want to say less worldly, but for the sake of what we're talking about right now,
Yeah.
it's more geared toward a Christian teen club. What do y'all think about that? Would your children attend?
Mine would. Mm-hmm.
Ashley says hers attends something like that on Wednesday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a good alternative because the kids have so many options out there in the world of stuff to do. And no matter where they go, even if it's a movie theater, it's what's in the movies, sometimes that you have to be mindful of. So I don't know. I just think it would be a good idea. I really do. With some trusted adults. Trusted adults. I did a business plan in undergrad for a teen club. Boom, there you go. Exactly what you're talking about, Nikki Johnson. Boom, there you go. We should talk.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, what's our next one? It's on you, CP. You on mute still, baby.
I was coughing. I didn't want y'all to hear me cough on the mic. My next topic is there is a reel, or is circulating on Instagram and on Facebook. And it's this young lady and her little young daughter. I think the daughter is 3 years old. And her hair, I don't know if she has a diagnosis or not, but I know she was balding back here. And
She
so
was pulling out her hair.
Oh, she's pulling out her hair. That's right. She's pulling out her hair. And so the mom, she's like, well, I'm going to just add some extensions to her hair. They were cute, very, very cute extensions. It looked like her hair. It was really cute. But my question is to the TC fam, the QT family, is that too soon to be adding an extension?
I don't think they heard you say she was 3.
Oh, yeah, they hear me say 3. Oh, she was 3 years old, pulling out her hair. So she was basically balding back here. And mom decided to put in extensions that were very, very cute. It looked like the same pattern of her hair. It was really, really cute. But my question is that too early to put extensions? Some people would say, let her just embrace her hair as if she's only 3 years old. Who cares? But I want to ask the QT family and for Queens, is that too early, or are you okay with it?
Okay, so Ashley just jumped right on that thing. She said way too early. Take that weave out that baby's head. That's what she said. So the comments underneath the video, I had already seen that video and sent it to you and Cole. And when I was watching it, it was a bunch of thoughts going in my head. The people in the comments were going in. One of the things the mother said was, don't come for me in the comments. And it's not about me doing it so she can look pretty. It's about her feeling whatever. Yeah. So the first thing I thought about is when everybody started going in, what do you say to a 3-year-old that has cancer, going through treatments and it's bald, and they create wigs for those babies? Is that wrong? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all gonna be on how you look at it. For the mama that put weave in the head, everybody was like, that baby shouldn't be wearing it. But what if the baby had cancer and she wanted to give her a wig so she didn't feel different from other little girls? Will we feel the same way? What are your thoughts?
That's the question I posed. I mean,
so Koya didn't get braids till about 10.
I really think it just depends on who the parent is. Like, your child, your situation. When I saw it, I didn't read the comments. When Sierra sent it over to me, I was like, oh, hell no.
Take that weave out that baby head.
Right. But then I had to think about it because I saw what was going on in the back, and I was like, well, does the baby have alopecia? Like, is there a medical issue going on? So you just never know. We so quick to judge people. So I was like, okay. For me and my child, if I had a girl, I would not put braids in that early. But then I'm like, okay, if that baby had cancer, would I buy her a wig? Probably not. I would just make her feel like the most beautifulest girl. Right. So in my head, I just have so many questions. Like, what is mom saying to the baby? Like,
Right.
is the baby feeling like she's different because y'all saying she different?
Right.
So that's my thoughts on it. For me, probably not. Not until she's older. But for somebody else, I mean, hey, do what you do. It's your baby.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. I would say the same thing. Like when I saw that, I was like, wait, she's 3 years old. Oh, wait. She got a condition. It's okay. It's cool. But what if she doesn't have a condition and she just, having a problem and it is what it is? That's where the questions really lies is, do you put extensions in your baby hair so she can feel normal, or that she can think that, that she feel that she's pretty enough? Like, that's really the question, is like, if there's no, you just want your baby to have extensions so she can have long hair. I even saw this little girl who's, I think she's like 5 now, but she started modeling or strutting when she was like 2.5, 3 years old. She could barely walk, but honey, she was a boop, boop, boop. And I'm like, so when are they going? And her hair is natural now, but I'm like, when are they gonna put extensions on her hair? Because I know it's coming, so she can elevate her look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
because
my
those
thing.
little pageant. Oh, go ahead, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, those pageants, they elevate everything. And she's just a runway model. She does events, and she's I think 5 now, but she started when she was like 2.5, 3 years old. So it's just like, and yeah. So it's just like, I let a baby be a baby. Let them embrace who they are naturally. And for some reason, I think we have more of a I don't know what's the word to look, a negative or a big issue when it's a woman, a little girl of color. If it's a little blue-eyed, oh, it's fine. Put the wig on there and extensions. They're cute. But when it's someone of color, no matter what the color is on the spectrum, it's a problem. So it's so many things,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things. But yeah,
Those pageant kids get full glam. They don't even look like themselves when it's time to take their pictures or be in a pageant. They give them flippers, which is
yep.
putting the false teeth over their teeth. They get full makeup, full lashes. Their hair is, I mean, it's big Texas style, old school Dallas show, teased up hair. And when you see those kids outside of the pageants, they don't even look like themselves. They look like grown women for the pageants. And that's acceptable because you have to do those things to win, even down to flippers. And I used to watch those shows, especially when Honey Boo Boo was on and she was younger. I don't know if y'all remember her.
Mhm.
Because the girls, they didn't have some of their teeth, they were still growing, so they kind of snaggled too. They were teeth coming in, teeth missing, so they put the flippers on, and it's a whole new grill. And I used to wonder on the inside what has to be built in them that they say, pageant time, where are my flippers, where's my hair, time to put on my lashes, and then when the pageant is over, I can go back to being me. But when you look in the mirror, do you see you, or do you see glam? Do you like that? I used to always wonder how those kids thought about themselves outside when you're on stage, because you're
Mhm.
totally different looking, and that is how you're
Mhm.
judged starting as babies.
I was speaking from the perspective of having geriatric patients who were in pageants at that young age.
Mm-hmm.
And they are overly obsessed with the way that they look,
With their
even
look.
at 75, 65. If they don't have their liner on, that's completely on wrong because they can't see no more. If they don't have their lips on, if they don't have that wig on right, oh, don't come at this time. I don't have my, I'm like, you all right, boo? Like,
Yeah.
I still have your dignity, yes, but
Yeah.
they overly obsessed about how they look, even to the
Mm-hmm.
point of being malnourished when I see them as patients.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you have to eat your protein shakes, boo boo. You can't build muscle if you don't take your protein. Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay. I'm like, no, I'm getting that. You don't, honey, you're not.
Mm.
Like, it's the whole, your mind is really warped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's interesting to watch the kids who they have kids, and these kids are like, yeah, that's my mama. And,
Right.
and they look totally opposite. They're just like, I ain't doing all that. Nope, nope, nope.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how, and that's just a few patients that I've seen from that spectrum of being in pageants when they were younger, all the way through until they
Mm-hmm.
become 65, 70, and it's still in their mind that the way they look
Yeah.
is not good enough.
Right.
Mm,
It just makes me sad for the kid because I'm like, these are still babies.
Right.
So they forget about that part when everything comes off and that baby is having a tantrum or upset because they can be like a normal kid. There's just so many layers to this.
A lot of
And
ways.
I'm like, what are you teaching these babies? And then you
Yeah.
got these crazy people who looking at these babies like they grown. So it's just,
Creepers.
yeah.
Creepers.
But like I said, that's your child. I'm gonna let you do what
so
you do.
baby,
No,
I'm gonna let you have your raise your child. Somebody want to hit that one?
I had from Ashley. I had to have a conversation with my daughter early about her crown. She wanted her hair straight all the time because of what she saw at school. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, I raised boys, so the stuff that they came across was to sag or not to sag. You know, this shoe, not that shoe. Girls, it's
Mm-hmm.
piles of stuff that you got to talk to them about just to build their self-worth and self-esteem up in them in comparison to not just other little girls at school, but their teachers, the school bus drivers, what they see on television. And now there's social media to add to the pot just to have them to be authentic and love who they are at the core of who they are. You got to come against all this stuff, right? Even buying your booty and your breast and all of that. And little girls want breasts now. Little girls want to go buy booties. A little girl want a BBL at 12 don't make no sense to me. What you gonna lift? It ain't came in yet. What we
Right.
lifting? It is. I bet it is different. I bet it is different. Oof. Let's round this convo off so CP can give us our next one. And that'll be, I think we're going to probably end with the next one. Any more thoughts on this?
That was my next one. I think it's
That,
Carla.
you
It's
had a
my
few of them, I'm sure. Oh, it's okay, Carla. All right. Go ahead.
where do you want me to go
Excuse
with
me,
this?
Carla, say it's my time. Go ahead.
Do we want serious or we want what we want?
We want whatever the Lord tell you to throw out there. It don't matter.
We can talk. Well, since we're already talking about kids,
Ooh.
yeah. Let's talk. Look, let's talk about school and truth in school. So once again, I was on Instagram and I came across, I think he was a principal teacher. I don't know what he was, but he was just talking about what kids are being taught in schools.
Yeah.
So his argument is when things are uncomfortable, schools tend to not have that conversation. They'll do like a partial conversation about it or sometimes not at all. So what do y'all think? Should schools be responsible for putting truths out in school for kids? I'm talking racism. I'm talking all of it.
I was gonna say, which truth are you wanting to put in the books? Because depending on the race of the person, the culture of the person, the truth is different.
That's good.
Now, facts, slavery did occur. That's a fact. The United States is the United States because of slavery. That is a fact. All the in-betweens of how it affected us as a culture and how it embodied and uplifted the other cultures is a different conversation. The facts, they do need to teach that. They're not teaching that. They're changing the facts to make it comfortable to digest, but it's not true. And that is a lie.
Yeah.
Which means that our kids are growing up believing that the past was a lie and don't relate it to how it affects us presently. And that's the problem. Oh, that was back then. No, sweetheart. Let me show you how it works now. Let me show you numbers now. Let me give you examples now of what happened then, how it's affecting us now.
What'd you say earlier? I got receipts.
Receipts.
Yes.
And the parents who benefited, the families and generations who benefited from the facts, state your facts. Why are you scared of stating your facts?
Yeah.
It's your truth. It's your family truth. But what you gonna do with it? Are you gonna? This is the next question. Are you gonna embrace it and continue it, or are you gonna deny it and say there's a new fact or new truth that we have to live in as a society? That's the true question. Because we can talk about facts all day, But if you're not trying to change, develop, take ownership, then it defeats the purpose.
One of the things the brother was saying in the video, because he was addressing racism, is you tell partial. You tell what you're comfortable telling. The rest you don't tell. That's not a truth.
It's not a
That's
truth.
not even a half truth. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't trust the schools to teach a truth.
No.
I don't. I don't trust the schools. The only way I would trust the school to teach a truth is if they allowed. Let me say this the right way.
You're right.
I know how I'm gonna say it. Thank you. When my mother was going to school, her school teachers reflected her color. So they were teaching the truth. My mother had teachers in her school that looked like her. Okay. So the other thing is, anybody watching from Texas, we had to learn Texas history. That was a requirement. You had to learn Texas history. The problem is that you didn't learn the whole truth about Texas history. You learned what was put in that book. Right. And also when it comes to some parts of history, for our history, it was a page on one side and about half a page on the other side. How the Sam Hill is Black history, a page and a half.
Right.
And how is it only about maybe Martin Luther King for a little bit, maybe a little bit about either Frederick Douglass or Harriet Tubman, or a little bit about Malcolm X, depending on the book and depending on the teacher that was teaching it. That's not teaching me a truth. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust the school to teach my child a truth. I trust the school to give them something that I have to figure out what they're learning and either build on or teach correctly when they come home. That was my job as a parent. My job as a parent was to always know what they were learning and be like, no, that ain't even, baby, we're gonna go to the library this weekend. You understand what I'm saying? You say that, Coach Nick. The other thing is the reason why real truth is not given is because knowledge is power. And I don't really want you to know how powerful you are. Therefore, they're not going to tell you the whole truth. Nikki is done. I dropped the mic on that one.
Nikki is done. Yep.
I'm gonna say I don't have much to say except I'm on the side of Nikki and C on this. I don't think schools are responsible for it. No. I would love it. I really would love it, but I don't think they're responsible. My responsibility as a parent for my kids is to make sure that I educate them, because I know they only get partial things at school. So yeah, they can learn math, they can learn, certain things there. But when you come home, I want you to learn like what life is really like for you. So I don't expect them to show up like that. I just don't. Nikki, I'm like you on that one. I don't trust these teachers like that. I love them. I love that they're there. I know it's a big responsibility. My kids have had great teachers. But for me to expect them to do everything for me, I'm just not on that side. I'm not. Yeah.
Or the school districts to enforce it. Now they are trying to pull so much of our history out of elementary, middle, high, and in college. It's ridiculous. And my sons were here Sunday before last because it was my oldest son's birthday. And they like to talk about me, how I raised them when they get together. One of the things we were joking about was they talked about how I would sit them down and make them watch documentaries. And they'd be like, Mom, we watched this one last week. We're going to watch it again, because they understand now the importance of it. But I know what you're not getting. I know what you're not being taught. I need you to know where you come from. I need you to know why things exist. I need you to have an appreciation for your freedom right now, for the things that you can, that our people were beat for. You understand what I'm saying? Because who was going to teach you that? Not that page and a half. Page and a half wasn't going to teach you jack.
Oh. Yes.
I felt that thing in my
shit.
Ashley says, I feel it's my responsibility to teach the truth. I can't leave it up to the school. I make sure they hear from me to prevent the mix-up that they get from school.
Yes.
The thing that
good.
sucks though is that we get tested on these false truths. And
Mhm.
that's the part that irritates me is because they get tested on the lies and they have to write the right answer. And you're like, that's not the right answer. But I'm gonna
That
okay,
part.
I gotta know this part for y'all. Okay,
Mhm.
but mama told me this, my auntie told me this at home. I got books to show proof that my great grandmother marched and this is wrong. This no, it wasn't a business deal. What you talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
That part.
It's a,
I tell mine, learn what you need to learn to pass the test.
that part. I feel like I don't know if there is summer programs where it's like what you call it, culture appreciation, where the kids go for summer school
Oh,
instead of
that's
that
awesome.
would be awesome. Like they have the
Yes.
vacation Bible school. Why don't you have vacation cultural appreciation VCA and just go learn more about
Oh, look
Call
at
it
you.
the real truth school.
the what?
The real truth school.
That sounds
What
like
you say?
it's part. I said that sounds like it's gonna be part of Pleasant University. So I'm
You
like,
hear me, William? I was
what?
thinking the same thing. William. William know what we talking about. William know what we talking about. The same thing, KC. Yes. William.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If you all have enjoyed today's show, please drop some crowns or some hearts down in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about today's show or any of the topics we talked about, or just show your appreciation for these amazing women that are on the stage today.
Come on.
Bring all the gems and the nuggets and whatnots and things.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
We did that thing. We did that thing.
We're in that thing.
William.
Here comes one of my favorite parts of the show. Thank you, Auntie Elaine. She the only one listening. Thank you. That awesome jobs, ladies. Awesome job. So one of my favorite parts of the show is to do our affirmations for the week. We would love to hear what is your affirmation, your personal one going into the rest of this week. Drop it down for us down in the chat. Ladies, y'all ready?
Oh,
They enjoyed having you on,
thank
Casey.
you, Ash. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hoping I can get this crown again sometime.
Y'all heard us say it about 3 or 4 times, and then when we
Yeah,
asked
right, yeah.
I ain't got time. I gotta check my schedule. Don't do that. Don't do that.
She be busy. She booked a busy
That.
day. You better ask ahead of time.
That part. That part.
Y'all, I did not prep for an affirmation. So is this supposed to just come up or I was supposed to be ready? Ooh.
Search your heart.
Right
Just
now?
search your heart.
What you need right now?
What did the spirit just tell me?
Yeah.
Somebody just said something because I saw you go, ooh.
I know.
Ooh.
Don't process it. Say it.
I will show up where I can. And if I can't, that's okay.
Ooh. That thing hit me. I will show up where I can. And if I can't, what?
That's okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That. Somebody put that down in the chat. I will show up where I can. Where I can't, that's okay. I love that, Casey.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, Queen.
Mm. CP.
Mine.
Yes. This book about to be deep. She had to take a deep breath.
I would say it 2 different ways. Because
Okay.
the word of the year for me is evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to say it 2 different ways. Okay. Evolving is challenging, but I can do it.
Mm.
The other way I can say it is I'm a survivor. It's tough, but I can do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can take out I, you can just say you. That's how I actually have it written. Is I'm a survivor. It's tough, but you can do it. Um, then evolving is challenging, but you can do it.
I love that. Everybody putting it in. That is so good. I love the first two ways you said it, CP. Evolving is challenging, but I can do it. And what was the second way?
I'm a survivor. It's tough, but I can do it.
Yeah.
Somebody put that down in the chat. Ooh, those are so good and juicy. That's so good. So mine is a part 1 and 2. The part 2 I'm taking from Carla today. Part 1 is none of these things move me, no matter what is happening in my life or what's to come. None of these things move me. The part I'm taking from you tonight, Carla, is put your shoulders down.
Mm.
So none of these things move me, and Nikki, put your shoulders down. None of these things move me, and Nikki, put your shoulders down.
Mhm.
Just saying that just did so much for me. Whew. All right. Evolving is challenging, but I can do it. Y'all, how do y'all feel about today's show?
It was great.
I had a
Thank you
great,
so much, Carla. Come and join us.
I had an amazing time. I thank y'all for welcoming me and inviting me to be on. I gotta give C her props on that. Put your shoulders down, because my girl says that to me constantly. Constantly.
Mm.
Yes, she is my approved occupational therapist. So yeah, I gotta shout you out for that one. I really do. I really do. I can't
Mm.
with me, but I'm shouting you out. But yes, I had such a great time. I love being on with y'all. I really did.
Thank you for coming, Carla. You really blessed the show today. So let me correct myself. CP, thank you for the put your shoulders down. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I want to invite you all to watch the Dear Young Me podcast. It's my other podcast. I do it live every single Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also have an audio version, different topics than we do on the live, and you can find the Dear Young Me podcast on any place that you love to listen to your podcast, especially on Apple and Spotify. Please check it out. You can follow us on Instagram and also here on Facebook. We have amazing conversations, and I would love to have you all be a part of it and support it. So be sure to follow me over there as well. Y'all, the show was amazing. I knew it was going to be that type of show. I knew it. And I thank God for it, because he be knowing. He be knowing. He be knowing. Again, thank you, Carla, so much for saying yes without a hesitation. CP, as always, you rocked it. Would you please take it out and tell people what to do with their crown?
Fix your crown. Don't let it lean to the left. Don't let it drop on the floor. Pick that thing up, put it back on, put it on right.
Yeah.
Look yourself in the mirror and say you're awesome, you're great, and you can do it. We love y'all. We thank you so much for being a part of our podcast. Please share on all platforms. Like. You can take clips from it and repost it if you want to. We love y'all. We thank y'all so much. And we'll see y'all next time.
Yes. Bye. Y'all have a great week.
Bye.
Amazing week. Fix your crown.